Hello everyone, welcome to our new video series about Azure Functions. Today we're going to start by first creating just one Azure Functions app and testing it. Just click a little bit around. And in the second video I'm going to show you an example how you can use an Azure function. Well, let's start. First off, type in Azure Functions app. Excuse me, just Functions app. I'm used to having the name printed in my name, Azure Functions. So that's why. Well, we create a new one. Choose this RT demo resource group. I'm gonna give it a name. I think that name is not chosen yet. You can choose code or a Docker container. For now, I'm just gonna choose code. As a runtime stack, I'm going to choose .NET, but as you can see, we have a lot of options, so it's really, lots of variety. Do be aware, Azure Functions are meant to be for some solutions, but not all solutions. You do have something like, most Azure Functions default have like, I think like a 10-minute timeout period. You can have a long durable Azure function, but actually that's not the meaning of this solution. Azure Functions are actually meant to do some small work on the not on the background, but really on a whole different location to release your, think about like your API or web app or something like that. For more intensive, for more long during operations, I would suggest you use web jobs that run on your app service. So that's a tip. Also you have two different pricing plans. You have premium, three actually, in app service plan and just consumption. I'm now just gonna leave it on consumption. So we only will be charged if the Azure function is used. Do be aware there are some differences in different time planning. I think if you are choosing for the premium plan, you have the option to have it always on. So that will be handy if you want a quick Azure function, because that won't need any time to start up. Well, click on new application insights. To be honest, actually, an Azure function is kind of like the same like an app service, like an app service. Only it's now just a little piece of code, and it has some extra capabilities. But I think under the hood is almost the same. I'm gonna pause the video for now. Well, it's finished. We're now gonna go to the resource, but first I want to show you how our resource group is now looking. Previously we didn't have any resources, but now it created a storage account, an application insights resource, of course our function app, and an app service plan. So the app service plan is a little bit just like the app service plan we use for our app service, if you ever use it. The only difference is this one works on consumption. So you get charged, and I think the first 1,000 requests or something are free, and after that you get charged depending on how many requests you have in the hour. So that's that. As you can also see, the scale up and the scale out is disabled, but that's logical. I think if you choose the premium version, you will have the option to scale out. Well, let's go to our functions now. I know I talk a lot in this video, so excuse me. As you can see, we have a lot of options. We have the deployment center, where we can connect our Azure function with a repository. So like we can use like a GitHub or Azure repos or just a local Git. Do be aware, when you enable this, you won't be able to modify the Azure function through the web interface, because it's going to be read only. Then you need to do it through the repository. In another video I'm going to show you how you can do that. We have our application insights. We can add authentication. It's still in preview, but you can like add like a provide like Microsoft, Facebook, etc. You can add a custom domain. Of course, we have our tooling, extensions. It's like a big list. You can click around in it. Very handy, some tools. We have our editor. We're gonna go to the editor after we create a new function. So for now, not. But let's just start. Just create just a new function. And why? Yeah. Click on add. I'm gonna say develop in portal. Here you see we have lots of different functions we can use, like a function for a source cube, RabbitMQ trigger. But now I'm gonna choose a HTTP trigger. I'm gonna give it a name. I'm gonna keep this on function. That will make our Azure function available by using an API token. Well, it's created. Next thing, we can go to code and test. Default, it creates some sample code you can use. This is our code. First, let's test it and run it. You can see here which kind of key you want to use. You can use a master key, the default key, or the default functions key. You can add more parameters, headers. This is all already set up for testing in the web browser. That's very handy. Well, let's just see. Let's run. And this is our response. Well, a quick overview through the code. As you can see, this is our logger. So this logs the messages to our logs. Next thing, we can use this, the rec, to get the parameters from the URL, or like from the body. Actually, this is from the body. And what it does, it reads the body, it gets the piece of data that we have put in, as you can see. And then it returns a message, and you can return a message by returning an OK object result. Next thing to be aware, you have also of functions.js. Well, this describes a little bit what we got previously, but this is in JSON. You see, like, hey, it's a type of HTTP trigger. It's an indirection, which methods are available. You can say, okay, only a get or a post. And what does it bring out? So HTTP, direction, and yeah, that's that. If you click on here, you can get the URL. So you can also test it in the web. As you can see, it's also working over here. Well, as you can see, we'll also see some logging. So that's great. We have a monitoring part, a functions part, but for that, for another video. Now, last thing I'm going to show you is, of course, we can enable HTTPS only. And we're going to go to our app service editor. It's loading a little bit slow. Well, this is our app service editor. This is just like, I don't know how to explain, it's a little bit of Visual Studio Code just in the web, where you also can modify your web app, etc. As you can see, you can directly publish it. I think you also have here, you can directly publish it and run it. We have an option to see our output. We have also the console. And we can set up also the Git repository from here. So that's just an extra handy tool to get you started. Well, that's that, folks. Thank you for watching to this introduction. Please watch our upcoming videos about this topic. We're still gonna do lots of fun stuff. Some stuff with RabbitMQ, some stuff with a time trigger. So please share and like. And thank you for watching, and have a nice day.